Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we are going to be building a stand for this fly press that I picked up a couple months ago. So I'm pretty excited about this project, and the first thing that we need to do is we actually need to get this fly press lifted, which is very heavy by the way, probably about 700 pounds or so. We need to get it lifted up and put on this little 2 foot by 2 foot square plate that you see that's about 1/2 inch thick. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm actually going to outline the whole piece, and then I'm going to try to pre-drill the holes a little bit just to create a mark. Really all I'm trying to do is get a center punch mark, so this way I can cut those holes for the bolt holes later. I don't have any drill bits that are big enough really to take and drill through this, so instead I'm going to use my plasma cutter to actually plasma cut out the holes. This is one of those things where having a plasma cutter in this situation really makes this bit of fabrication worlds easier. It would have been insane for me to have to cut this plate otherwise. So after that, basically, I just did like a stack and clamp method to get a bunch of my leg pieces ready to go all together and get all the basically rust and mill scale cleaned off. That's really important for MIG welding, for you guys out there that maybe are hobbyists, haven't done any sort of welding to any professional sense. You really got to make sure that your weld joints are clean and prepped before you start welding if you want to get a really good strong weld. Which this has got to be a really strong weld because this fly press is going to put a ton of torsional forces on the actual frame itself. Now, speaking of which, this is a lot lighter duty frame than I would have cared to make for this, but this is the materials I had on hand. And considering steel prices right now are through the roof, I just went with what I had versus going out and buying more substantial steel. So later on, I might make another stand for this. We'll see how this one holds up. So I'm working on the tray pieces and also what's going to be the little cross braces that you see there to bring some of those torsional forces into check, if you will. I'm going to put those in there to help tie everything together so this way it can't twist in that specific area there. I may have to do some additional bracing at a later date, but again, we'll see how this goes and see how long it goes for. Now, I've intentionally here, and as you'll see in later on in the video, I have left this fly press stand really long. It looks like it's got really long legs there, and that is intentional because what's going to happen is this is actually going to get beat into the ground about 8 inches, and that's what's going to provide me, the ability that the stand won't just twist and spin around on, say, concrete or whatnot. Because I have a gravel shop floor and it's dirt underneath that this seemed to be the best way to do it versus trying to pour a big slab of concrete and then anchoring it with bolts there. So as you can see, I got to do some rearranging in the shop here, move some stuff about, which is always fun. It feels like I'm doing this all the time, which is kind of heavy. A lot of heavy work to do. But yeah, so we get that out of the way, and we're just going to get a little test fit here, see how everything looks. As you can see, it's really high up in the air right now. And there you go. That's like what I was saying. That'll be its actual height when we're ready to go. So next up, this was actually Jessica's idea, my wife. She came up with a really great idea. We have some scaffolding here around the homestead, and I decided to take and set up the scaffolding after her recommendation, trying to figure out how to get this thing up there all by myself. She said, well, why don't you set up the scaffolding and hook your chain hoist up to that? And I said, I love you, wife. You are so beautiful. Let's do that. Boy, I tell you what, there are days I am thankful I'm a happily married man, and this was one of them. So anyways, yeah, I basically set up the scaffold platform, put a couple boards next to each other with a big steel pipe to span everything, and this really did work the treat. I tell you, it really, really did. And up she goes, like it was nothing. So the next thing is to go ahead and bolt this down. This had 3/4 inch long bolts. I bought too long of bolts, so I ended up having to stack up some extra nuts underneath it and some extra washers. But, you know, I might change those out at a later date for shorter bolts. Who knows? I'm kind of a stickler for regularity. But yeah, so there you go. I mean, that was basically it to build that stand. I know it's very quick video, but there's not a whole lot to say about it, you know, other than you just got to build with basically a better square box to put underneath it. So that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's just a time lapse with a voiceover, but I hope you found some sort of information in it nonetheless. If you did, hit that like button and that subscribe. And I look forward to catching you all on the next video.